Hello everyone. So how are you all? I hope my voice is audible to everyone. Just can someone confirm me by writing in the chat box? Yeah, okay. Thank you. So we'll start in just one more. We'll wait for 1 more minute and then we'll start the class. What I have thought is after today's session, whatever doubt you have, you can put in the chat box, and after today's session, I'll give you some time for doubt clearance. Okay. So once the session is over, we'll start that also. Okay. Now, without wasting any time, let's get started. I have made one more change. That is, whatever code and all will be available. As you all know, if you look at any code inside, if you look at any code, you will find that it contains basically two things. One is this Java file, and one is the XML file which is present inside the layout. Generally, there are two codes. Okay. So what I have thought is all the important codes I'll be putting in the Google Drive. Okay. So as you can see here, I have prepared one folder called TechCat. Okay. And I'll share you the link now in the chat box. Okay. This link you can use for for getting the codes. By the end of the class, I'll do this. Okay. So as you can see in the day 2 already, I have kept that XML file and that activity file which I used to prepare that small calculator. Okay. So you can use this. So this will be a little bit again handy for everyone to to understand if you are having doubt. Okay. Now in today's class, I'm going to move forward with some very interesting topic. That is, today today's agenda is two things. One is we will understand what is intent, and before this, we will understand a very important thing, that is life cycle of activity. Okay, so we'll understand life cycle of activity. We will see what intent is, and we will develop an app, and that is your login app. Okay, so in this login app only, I'll be using the intent feature. I'll explain you what is intent feature inside the login app only. Okay, inside login app only, I'll explain you the intent feature, and uh, you will even see the practical part of that. Okay, so you can say today we are going to make one very important project, that is login app. Okay, here what I will do, one more thing, I'll make you understand one of the very important component, that is how to deal with the images. Okay, so these are the few agendas which I will be covering today. Okay, so let's get started, guys. So in order to understand first of all activity, let's see this. Okay, if you all remember, I had shown you in the last class something regarding the activity. Okay, uh, in the first class, when I was explaining the complete architecture of this Android, we have seen the about framework. If you remember, I was explaining you about framework. Okay, and I even told you that from the framework I'll be choosing some of them, and among all, the activity manager will always be used. Okay, so let's see first of all the activity manager life cycle. So generally, whenever you are using any app, so suppose whenever you are using the app, that app will open inside the smartphone, and that will be referred as that activity is running. Okay, please understand this point. So as soon as you open an app, that app is actually called activity is running. That is the point which is there. Okay, so you can see before the app has started, or before the app is in the running position, there are three functions which is getting executed. Okay, so this is, even I told you in the last class that on create is the first method which gets executed. Okay, so you can see now. So this function, these methods which you are seeing here, they are automatically executed. Okay, so what is life cycle actually? Let's first of all understand the definition of life cycle. Okay, then we'll understand about activity life cycle. Okay, so what is life cycle? Life cycle is execution of some predefined functions one after the other automatically. Okay, I'll repeat once more. What is life cycle? Inside Android app, life cycle is execution of some predefined methods which gets executed automatically one after the other. Okay, so you can see we have there are more than there are more than these functions, but these are the very standard ones. Okay, so what will happen as soon as you start an app, what happens, the activity of that app gets started. Okay, and that automatically starts the first method, that is called on create. Okay, and once the on create is executed, it will move to on start, and after completing on start, it will move to on resume. Okay, and after executing the first three methods, the activity, or you can say your app, will be in the running position. Okay, so you can assume that as soon as you are using your app, already these three methods are executed. Okay, and suppose you got a phone call or you have minimized this app, what will happen, you will move from activity running stage to the next method, that is on pause. Okay, so this on pause method will be automatically called if in any way this app gets minimized or get destroyed or whatever be the case. Okay, so the on pause will be executed, and if your memory is less, okay, or suppose the garbage collector has started, what it will do, it will move, it will automatically move your life cycle from on pause to on stop. Okay, so once the on stop is executed, the app is all automatically, you can say, all the objects and all that all will be destroyed. Okay, then what will happen, that garbage collector, what it will do, it will force the app to close and lose all the memory. Okay, and then the function which will be called is on destroy function. Okay, so you can say as soon as you minimize the app, the garbage collector of Android, what it will do, it will start cleaning what, all the memories. Means once the app is minimized, what Android Studio thinks, that app you don't want to use again. Okay, so it will help the app to destroy. How it will help, it will move from on resume method to on pause method. Okay, so it will tell the app to move from on resume method to on pause method, and then from on pause method to on stop method, and from on stop to on destroy. And once the on destroy method is used, it means that it will release all the memory and it will be completely closed. Okay, so this life cycle is very important. And in good apps, what you will find, that the good amount of code you will find in these functions, these methods as well. Okay, but we are not as doing those things. But what we will do, one thing is, we will try to run this. Okay, what we'll do, we'll create one project which already I have created in order to save some time. Okay, so what I will do is, I will create these all methods, which methods you are seeing here, these all methods I'll create. Okay, and I will put some notification in it. Okay, I'll put some notification in it, so that when the app is switching from this method to this method, I will understand. Okay, so let's see it practically. Okay, so I'll just minimize this. Okay, and you can see already my Android Studio is open, and one project already I have made here. Okay, so if you look here carefully, can you see this is the front end of the app? As you can see here, the XML file, and here is the backend file, that is main activity.java. So what I have done is, I have created a button here. You can see here. There's a button. Okay, and I have named it as click to minimize. Okay, so what will happen in the front end? You will, if you look at the back end coding part of the front end, if you see here, all of you, and try to have some focus, you will see there is a button code. Okay, so this is your button code. Okay, and there is only one thing that is called button, and that's why the same thing you can see in the design part also. Okay, one more important point I would like to clarify, that is in the text part where you have seen it's written here click to minimize, this is called hard coding. Okay, so this I clarify now only so that I can use it very frequently in the next project. Okay, so in coming in projects I will not be using hard coding. Hard coding means directly you put the value, that is called hard coding. And there's one more method that I'll show you, all if you look carefully. So what I will do now, I'll move to one more part inside the resource. So if you, okay, before putting that, I'd like to show you one very important thing. Inside resource, there is a folder called drawable, there is a folder called layout, and there is one more important folder for you that is called values. Okay, this I'll tell you later on. So these three for time being is very, very important to you. Why it is important? Let's understand. I'll expand all of them and I'll show you why it is important. Okay. So if you look carefully, there are some XML files present there. Okay. So I'll make you understand. Inside the drawable, we will put all the images kind of thing. Okay. So if you want that in your app, you want to use some kind of images, you will drop where? In the XML, in the drawable folder. Okay, if you want to create more than one front-end design, you always have to drop it inside the layout file. Okay, layout folder. Okay, and this values, what it does, it takes the data. Okay, what you can do, you can create a concept of variable versus value concept. Okay, means whatever data you want to keep, you can keep in the variables format here. For example, I'll show you. Can you see this text color here? It is not directly written as some code. Okay, it is shown at the rate color and something is written here. That is called color primary dark. Okay, so this color which you are seeing here is actually your colors.xml file. Okay, guys. So colors.xml file, and in that this variable will be created. That variable will be having what? The color. Okay, in the same way, as you can see in the text part, I have not written, I have directly written the value. So now I'm going to make a change, and the text part will be stored inside the string.xml file. Okay, so all kind of texts we will be storing in the string.xml file. So I'll quickly open the string.xml file and I'll show you how I can do it. So I'll first of all erase everything. Okay, and I'll now move to string.xml file. So if you look in the string.xml file, already one example is given. Okay, so let's first of all understand what is this, what does mean. So here this app underscore name is actually your variable. Okay, and activity life cycle, this is the value. Okay, so wherever I will write app name, app underscore name, the value displayed will be this one. Okay, so let's practically do, let's take one example and do it here. Okay, okay, so I'm taking one example. I had to write one text, that is click to minimize. So what I will do, I'll use the same format. I'll write here string. Okay, then I'll write here name, and I'll write the name of the variable. So let the name be anything. You can put any name like but button text. Okay, let's use some context. So I'm using in the button, that's why I've written button text. So if suppose you want to put on edit text, so you can write edit text like that, whatever you want. So this is your variable, and now wherever you are seeing the cursor is blinking, whatever I will write here, that will become the value. Okay, so I'm writing here click to minimize. So click to minimize. Okay, click to minimize. Now I'm just saving this file. Okay, and now moving to the activity.xml file. So now if you look here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to erase this hard coded string here, and I'm going to write here @. So you can see as soon as I'm writing @, I'm getting option button but.text. Okay. Now if I click on this, you can see, if you look carefully in the button's front view, can you see what is written here? Click to minimize. Okay. So suppose I'll just show you one more change. Suppose instead of click to minimize, I'm writing here click me. Okay. So whatever you will write, that will be reflected. So I have saved here and I'm moving here. Can you see automatically it has become click me. Okay. I hope this is visible to all of you. Okay. Click me. So this is all about your storing. I mean, we are not going to use hard coded string. We will be using variable format, variable value format. Okay. Now let's move to the backend code. So for what I've done is I have just taken one button, and when I click this button, something will happen, that will code will get minimized, as we have seen yes in the last class. Okay. So what I've done, if you remember, I have shown you the image. There were functions. The functions were on create, on start, on resume, on pause. Okay, the functions are here. Even on restart is also there. Okay, but for easiness, I'll take only 6 functions, 6 methods. That is these all, and I have already written here just to save some time. So on create is automatically, first of all, it is already written there. I'm not going to change anything there. But other methods I have written here. So that is on start, on pause, on destroy. You can see here. Next is on stop. Okay, on resume. Okay, so all the methods I have written here. Okay. So what I will do now in these methods, I will just pass one message. So what will happen? Whenever this method will get executed, that message will be displayed. Okay. So how I will do? I'll take the help of toast. Okay. Now this is really very important, and this is a way through which you can show some notification. Okay. So how to write this toast? I'll just show you here. Just write here toast, TOAST, and then you write dot. So and then you will be able to see the static method make text. Okay. So static methods are the methods which you can call directly. So you write here make text, and this will require 3 parameters. One is context, next is message, and third is duration. So the first context is called get application context. So we are actually talking about our app. So you will call the get application context method. Next, what you will do, you will pass the message. So what will be the message? So you can say in on create means what? If this message will display in on create, means the method on create is executed. Okay, that's why I've written. So now what I will do, I'll give some duration. Duration is already fixed. So what you will do, you will call again toast, and you will use a variable that is length long, which is having the by default timing. Okay, so that I'm going to use. And then in order to display this notification, what you will do, you'll call a function dot show. Okay, and with this, what will happen? Whenever the on create method will be executed, what will happen? It will display the message in on create. Okay. So I'll quickly do one thing. I'll quickly copy this. Okay. And I'll paste in each and every method. Okay. So that whenever that method gets executed, the message should be displayed. So first of all, I'll copy and then I'll change the message inside. Okay. Okay, and you can see in the last class I told you that whenever you are creating a button, you have to create the on click also. So I have taken that function there, click to minimize, and that I have created here. Okay, now quickly I'll change the message in each one of them. If you look carefully, the second method name is on start. So I will write here, I'll erase create from here, and I'll write here start. Okay, next third one is on pause. You can write randomly, it doesn't matter, which based on the life cycle, they will be called and executed. The next one is on destroy. Okay. Next is on stop. And I hope this is the last one, that is on resume. Okay. Now when you save this, okay, and after saving, there's no error, you can directly run your program. So you can see already my smartphone is connected. I just click on this run button, and as soon as this run button is executed, uh, you will get the output. So first of all, I'll just show my smartphone so that as you know that as soon as the app will start, the on create will be executed, and it will, I am trying to say this, as soon as the app will start, this on create will be executed. So you have to observe very carefully because the messages will pass very fast. Okay. So first of all, what I will do, I'll switch my screen from laptop to smartphone. I hope everyone can see my screen now, and I'm going to run the app. So my app has started. You look downside, you will be able to see the message. All of you observe my smartphone, the downside. Okay. And there you will get the message about the notifications. Till now the Gradle is running. I can see in the laptop. Gradle is executing it. Once the installation will start, then only those notifications will come to you. So you have to wait for some time. I already told the execution of an app will take time. Okay, now installation has started. All of you can look in my smartphone, so you can see now. So you can see the messages has started coming. Yes or no? So it was a little bit fast. So you were not able to see or on create and on start. Directly you were able to see that on resume. Okay. Now, if you observe carefully, if I click the button click me, which is going to minimize my app, so you will be able to see some other messages. That is what was there. We had some on pause, on stop, and on destroy. Those messages will be displayed as the post notification. So if you look here now, I'm going to click. So click. So can you see pause, destroy, those messages came. Okay. So it means the app is now destroyed. Okay. So with this, actually here I'm trying to make you understand that how the life cycle is working. Okay. Now let's move to the next topic. I'll switch my screen. I hope my screen is visible to everyone. Okay. So now I'll move forward and start the second project, that is creating the login page. So I'll create a new project. All of you look here. So I'll go to the file, go to the new option. I'll create new project. I'll take empty activity. I'll do next, and I'll put the name of the project, whatever you want. So I'm putting as login app. So whatever you want, you can put there. Okay, login app. And already I told you, you have to always create a folder. So here what I will do, I'll create one folder and I'll put the name as login app. Okay. And this folder I'll select. Okay, so once I've selected, all the codes whichever is getting created will be copied there only, and no more changes. Language I have already fixed, HDK I have already fixed, and click on the finish. So as soon as I click on the finish, the new project will start loading. It will again take some time. In the meantime, what we are going to do is I'll make the structure, what the project which I am going to make. Okay, so what I will be doing is I'll create an app like this, where I'll take username from the users, I'll take password from the users. If both are right, I'll take one login button. If I click on this, if both username and password is correct, I will show the message on the toast that login successful or login unsuccessful. Okay, that I'll show here. Okay, so let's do it. So as you know, whenever you are doing any project, the first step is you have to create this design. Okay, so once the design is created, then you can go for the backend and do the task. Okay, so let's get started now, guys. I'll move to the front end design. The code has already loaded, and I told you in the last class, in order to save your memory, you have to close the last project. Okay, so I'm just closing the last project. It is showing the app is running. What I will do, I will close the app. Okay, so once you close the app, then you can, yeah, so yeah, it's closed now. Okay, fine, let's get started. I'm going to the front end design. I will first of all delete the by default text view which is present there, and as per we had thought, I will start copying the things. So first one, I need to put username. So username is a place where I'm going to input. So input means what? Edit text. So username, what I should choose? The best will be I choose plain text. Why? Because the username can be anything. So it's better to choose plain text. So I'll drag that one here and I'll put it here. Okay. I told you, once you have dragged one item, you have to link by implementing all the things here. So first I'll move to the declared attributes, and I will change first of all the ID, and I'll put it as user. Okay, I've changed the ID, and now the ID is user. Okay, next I'll move to the layout. Okay, and see, text, if something is written. Okay, so text should be made blank. Okay, so that I don't want anything should be written there. Okay, I'll move to the layout part. I'll minimize this. Okay, I'll move to the and here I'll now make changes in the constraint widget. Okay, that is the setting of the design with the screen. Okay, so I'll click on the plus button here. I'll click on the plus button here. I'll click on the plus button here. Okay, so you can see this component, which is edit text, it is linked with all the three corners. Okay, I'll make some settings also here, like I can set it by 24 here. I can set this part also by setting by giving the margin as 24. Okay, from all the side I'm giving 24, and I'm, as it is now in the wrap content part, I will move from wrap content to match parent. Okay, so you can see now this. Okay, just a second. So now it is wrap. This is match parent. When you come here, it will just show you. Okay, match. This is called match parent. Okay. Now it has been stretched, and whatever I will write, it will be visible to me. Okay. Now I'll make some more change. I'll go to the third one, that is common attributes, and I will add a hint also. Okay. So hint, you can give anything like enter username. It's up to you. Enter username. Okay. You press enter. Next, it's up to you. Whatever changes you want, you can make it. There are many things. Okay. But I'm not making any change. I'll just put the hint as enter username, and that's it. Okay. Okay, now I'll move to, already it is I mean, it has got the username. I'll now move to the password. So again, I'll write here edit text. I'll get different types of edit text, and I'll choose now password. As you know, you might have observed also, whenever you are putting username and password, the password becomes dot dot. It is just because of this. If I'll use again plain text, the password will be visible to you. So the best thing will be, in order to make the password dot dot, you will choose this one. Okay. You can see there was one more option. If I just show you here, there was one more option of password, that is numeric. In this case, the keyboard which will open up, it will contain only numbers, but you know the password can be anything. That's why I've taken a general one. Okay. Now I'll link this one. First of all, I'll change the ID, and the ID this time I'll keep it as pass. Okay. Now I'll move to the layout part. And you remember when I have done this, the 3 sections were connected, but this one is not connected. So you have to keep in mind, you have to connect it. So once you have dragged the second component, you can click on this one. So as soon as you click, you can see it is getting connected with this one. Okay. And whatever value is here, it's up to you, whatever you want. Like suppose I'll give you again 24 here. You can set any value. The same value, when you come to the second component, and when you click on the plus, you put the same value there, so that the settings will be very smooth. Okay. Now you click on plus here, it will get connected with the edges. Okay. And you make this again as match parent. Okay. And put the margin as 24 from both sides, so that it can stretch properly and it will show also. Okay. Now I'll take one more component, that is button. So already button is present in the common part. All of you just look here. So if I erase, in the common section, the button is already present here. So you take this button and you drag this here. Okay. Try to put in the center. Okay. Next, what do you do? Again, you go to the earlier one. See, the margin has become 0 here. That's why it has moved that side. I'll make it 24. Okay. So now what you will do, you will just click this one so that it can connect with the button. Okay. So you can see now it is connected with the button. Now, and you can see what value is there. So try to put the value in such a way that it remains same. So I'll make it like 50 here. Okay. And when I now click on the button, I'll link this also with all the parts. I'll click here. I'll make it this also as 50. Okay. And now I will link the edges also. So as it is a button, I want it to be in the center only. So what I will do, you can again calculate and put, but not do that much. It is almost in the center, that I can assume. And when I click on this plus button, it will link with the corner. It will link with the bottom of the screen. Okay. Now you can see everything is linked, and almost everything is okay. It is moving forward, but see, I'll not waste a lot of time in the designing part. Okay. So I'll just assume that the design is okay. My two components are, two edit text are there. I can enter username and password, and when I click on this button, it should tell me whether the login is successful or not. Okay, by checking username and password. So in order to do that, what you have to do, you have to click on the button and you have to set the on click function. I hope you remember that. So this is the on click, and I'll just put the function name as click me. Okay. So this function, as you can see, it is becoming red. The reason is this function is not present in the backend because it has just been created now. Okay. And on the button, the text written is not, it's written button here. So I'm going to change, for time being, I'll put a hard coded text, but you all have understood that you can go for a variable kind of coded. Okay. That is soft, that is using variable value concept one. Okay. So I'll write here login. Okay. So with this, almost everything is okay. And you can see here user and pass are having yellow one. Yellow means there is no problem, it's just a warning, but button is having red. The reason is the button is not linked properly. Button is not completed properly. And what is not completed? You know that I have created a function. The function name was what? Click me. That I have not created. That's why it is red here. So I quickly first of all go to the backend code, and first of all I click the function. Okay, so that I can go back and see that red part which was showing there, that should be gone actually. So I'll write here click me. Okay, And as you know, all are views there. So I'll use the class view. Okay, I'll create like this. And as you know, it is red color. So you press Alt plus Enter. So that will be gone. And now let's move again to the backend port and front end port. And you can see now that red is gone. Yes or no? Why it is gone? Because I have now created that method. Okay. Now let's come here to the backend code. Now you can assume that front end design is done. Let's move to the backend code. What we have to do, we have to first of all do something. I mean, let's finalize the logic, how I will do. So as you know, I have two edit text. So in order to take data from here, first thing I told you, whichever component you are trying, we are going to use, for them, you will create that 3-step process. Okay, what was that? Step 1 was create variable. Okay, second was link that variable, and third step was use that variable. Yes or no? So these 3 things we'll do for both the edit text. Okay, so let's do that. So all of you might be remembering that variable creation is always done outside the methods. So I'll create here. I'll take edit text. I'll take 2 edit text, that is E1 and E2. Okay. Now I'll link them. You know that the linking is always done inside onCreate function, and what the 2 line of code which is written there, after that you will do. Okay. So I'll write here E1 is equal to, I know the typecasting, the view which is present, that is actually edit text. That's why I'll typecast into edit text. And you will call the function find view by ID, which can search based on the ID. Okay. So r.id. Now what was the edit text name? If you have doubt, then you can go back and then just check. So here is the name. Okay. So by the ID, the names are saved here. You can see. Okay. If you remember, the ID of button we have not changed. You can see here the ID is still button. So I'll leave it button only. Okay. So the ID of first edit text is user and second one is pass. Okay. So I'll use them. So I'll write here user. Okay. And I'll press enter. I'll use the second one, that is E2 is equal to, I'll typecast again edit text. I'll call the function find view by ID, and I'll write r.id. What was that? Pass. So PA, you can see. If this is not coming, then that make sure that there are some errors. Okay. Now what I have done, I've done my 2 steps. That is, I have created the variable, I have linked them, and now third job is there. That is what I have to use them. Okay. So how I have to do? So this part again, there's a logic. Let's understand. So as you know, in these 2 edit text, I'm going to pass my username and password. So let's suppose my username, I'm putting some username, let it be alpha. Okay. And the password, let it be pass. Okay. We are not linking with database and all. So I'm just taking some fixed username and password, that is alpha and pass. So what will happen? These, when as soon as the button is pressed, you know this function click me will be executed. Okay. Now what I have to do is I have to grab these 2 data. Okay. So when I'll grab these 2 data, I have to store them in some variable. Let it be S1 and H2. Okay. Now, as you know, the user can pass any data. So what I will do, suppose user is passing alpha 1 or pass 1, 2, 3. Okay, whatever. I know that username should be alpha and the password should be pass. So whatever string has been grabbed, I will match them. User will match them with alpha, and the password I'll match them with pass. Okay. And if this match is successful, then I will show the notification that login is successful. Otherwise, login is denied. Okay. So this logic we are going to complete. Okay. So let's see. So what I will do now, I'll first of all grab the data from the edit text. So I'll first of all take 2 strings. So I'll take S1 and S2. Okay. You all know that whenever any data is grabbed from edit text, it is always string. Okay. So I'll write here S1 is equal to, from where I have to get the username, I'll get from edit text 1, which is actually referenced by the variable E1. So I'll take here E1 dot. So in order to get the data, you always use get text. Okay, so right here get text, and then you format it with the help of method toString. Okay, so when these two methods are executed, what will happen? You will get the string. Okay, now this string which is present here will be stored in S1. Okay, similarly, S2 will be having the second string. That is, I'll take here E2 dot get text dot toString. So if you all see carefully, I hope everyone is getting my point. So till here, if you all are having any doubt, you can ask. I hope it's getting clear. Yes, Sambit, you have written override means, okay, that I'll tell you. Just wait a bit. See, override means, see, if you remember about this main activity is the child of app compact activity. Yes or no? So this on create method actually is of app compact activity. Okay, this on create method is actually present inside app compact activity. So what we are doing is we are overriding it inside the main activity, and that's why this override is present here. Okay, Sambit, I hope it's clear. So till here, I hope there is no doubt. If you have doubt, you can write in the chat box. Okay, guys. So now if you look here, what I have done, I have written the logic for the first part. That is, I have grabbed the strings. Okay. Now, once the string is with you, what you will do? You will go for the comparison. Okay. So I'll write a if condition. So if username and password both are equal, I mean both are correct, then only login will be successful. So what I will do, I'll compare them. I'll use the function s1 dot equals. There's a function called equals. I'll compare them with a fixed string, like we had decided alpha. So you can take here alpha. Okay, and I will also check whether the second string is pass or not. So I'll write here s2 dot equals. Okay, and I'll pass here PASS. So if both conditions are correct, okay, then only this if condition will be, if this both conditions are correct, then only I can say the login should be given, otherwise it should not be given. Okay, about that I'll come to you later on. Let's first complete me this logic, okay, and then I'll come to you. Okay, so let's first of all finish this. So if you look here, if this condition is correct, then what I will do, I will write the some notification. So what I will do, I'll call again the toast, which is used to show the notification. I'll use that toast dot make text. Okay, and here I'll pass the message. So first is I'll pass the context, and then I'll pass the message. So message will be what? Login success. Okay, and then I'll give a time also, that is toast dot length long, and we will call the function so also, so that the message can be displayed. Okay, so if this condition is true, the message login success will be given. Else what I will do, I will display some other message, that is login denied. So I'll quickly copy this so that it will become a little bit faster, and I'll just change the message, that is login denied here. Okay, now save it. So once you have done this, can you observe carefully that complete logic is ready? Okay, now if I try to execute the program, what will happen? The S1 and S2 will be getting the edit text, will be getting the string, and then I will compare it. Okay, guys, keep in mind, we have not used yet try catch block and all. Okay, means what? If you don't give any string, there will be error. Okay, because you cannot, means if you're not giving any string, the s1 and s2 will be getting null. Okay, in that case, some exceptions will be occurring. Okay, so keep that in mind. We have not used any kind of try catch block and all. Okay, so it's, you are supposed to put some string. Okay, so with this, the basic logic is done. I'll quickly run this program and I'll just show you. Okay, so I'll now move to the screen of my mobile so that I can show you there. So I'll quickly now run my app. Just wait for a minute. The Gradle has started building. Once it will go for installation, you will be able to see the app. So Gradle build is going on. Installation has started. In few seconds, you will be able to see the app. So you can now see the app here. I think I have not given the hint in the second one. Let me check it out. The second edit text, yeah, I forgot to give the hint, so I'll just give the hint there. Okay, I'll write there, enter password. Okay, and I will run the program once more. So now you can see the hints are available. So now what I will do, I'll quickly write the hint. Okay, so I'll write there. What was written there? ALPHA, and the password was PASS. See, by knowingly I'm writing A as small, because you know the name, the password, the username was given as A capital. Okay, so now if I click on the login button, what will happen? Let's see. I'm getting login denied. Can you see why? Because username and password is not correct. If I change from if I make A as capital, and now let's see, then you see login success has come up. Okay, so if I change anything in the password part, that will be something I have given here. Can you see what will happen? If I click now, you know the username is correct, but the password is not correct. So if I click on login, I'll get login denied. Okay, I hope this part is clear to all of you. So now let's move to the switch to my laptop screen. Okay, so now you can see my screen. Okay, so now one thing I'm going to do is, but this kind of apps will not be any useful. I mean, it will not have any use. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to make a change. The change is, suppose this is my page. Here I have entered username and password. And if username and password is correct, when I click this button, the username and password is correct, I should move from one page to other page. Okay. So what I will do now, I'm going to write a code, small code, which will help me to go from one page to other page. Okay. So this we are going to do now. Okay. So what I will do, I'll create two pages here. Okay. One page I will write here login successful. I'm writing in the short LS, and here I will write here login denied. So if the username password is correct, I will be going to this page. Okay, in the case of correct, if the password is wrong, then I'll be moving to the login denied page. Okay, and I will also teach you one more thing, one concept, that is how to set the images. So I'm going to set some images also here. One image I'll set here and one image I'll set here, so that you can also understand how to set an image in an app. Okay, so let's do this. So in order to do this, what we have to do, if you look carefully, I'm creating one page and one more page here. Means 2 activities I have to create. Okay, so in order to create 2 activities, you have to look carefully what I'm doing. Okay, I'll just erase this part and I'll just show you how the activities are getting created. So if you look carefully, you have to click on this app. Okay, you have to click on the app and you click right, you have to do right click there. So as soon as you do right click, it will give you option of new on the top, and from there you can move down to activity and you can choose the empty activity which is present in the second last section. You can see here. Okay, so I click on this one. It will open up the same thing which we have opened few minutes before. Okay, and I will write here the name of the page. Okay, so I'll put here login S. S means success. Okay, you can put any name, it's up to you. And I'll not make any change and I'll click on finish. You can see also that along with the backend code, the layout file, that is XML file, will also be created. Okay, so as soon as I click on finish, you will observe in the coding in the Java section in the backend code, if a file is created, that is login S, and if you go to the resource part inside layout, you can see one more XML file is there. Okay, so with this you will understand that one more activity page is created. Okay, and as you know that you require one more page, but that I will leave on you. Let me see you can do it yourself or not. Okay, I'll complete one part. So I'll do it quickly. I'll move to the backend code of this one. Okay, and here I'm going to add 2 things. One is image, how we can go do the image part, and how we can add that message. Okay, so you can see there is one option. I hope it is visible to everyone. If you look here, image view, can you see here, all of you? So this is the view which will help me to set the image. So what I will do, I'll take image view here and I can set the images here. Okay, so it's up to you which image you want to take. I have already kept some images, I will use that image. Okay, so let's get started, guys. So I'll grab this image view from here and I'll put it here. Okay, and as you know, it is a image view. It will first of all require some images, so you have to choose the image. Okay, so I'll randomly take one image and I'll press OK. Okay, now as you all know, it is actually a component, so every component has to be linked, yes or no? So by default, whatever ID is given, I'll accept that ID. I'm not going to make any change. That be image view only. Okay, I'll come to the layout and I'll set the layout. So I'll click here plus, I'll click here plus, I'll click here plus also. Okay, and what I will do again is I'll take a text view where I can show some message. So I'll take this text view also, I'll put it here. Okay, and in this text view, I will write the message login done. Okay, so before that, I'll first of all link it with the image view. So I'll just click on plus here and I click all the plus so that it gets linked with each and every part. This linking is very important. If you don't do, automatically this will move from here to top. Okay, I am making some more changes so that I can see the message very easily, very neat and clean. So we'll go with the match parent so that it can expand. Okay, and one more change I will do is I'll write a message also there. Okay, so now I'll move to the message part. Okay, and I'll take the common attribute, and in the text view, see, you can, the message written here is text view. So what I should write here, I'll write here login done. Okay, and this I'll make it bold also. You can see by clicking here it will become bold. It is if I want to put in center, you can click this part, it will come in center. If you want to increase the size, you can click on this and you can increase by clicking here. You can see that it has been. Okay, so the message should be what? Login done. So I'll change the message also, that is login done. So I hope this is clear to everyone. Okay. So you can see here, the login text is here, what login done, and all the alignment and all is shown here. Okay. So you have to keep these things. It's up to you. Many changes can be done here. There are many properties. Okay. We cannot discuss all of them. Okay. So for time being, I have done this much, and I'll now move to the backend code of this. Okay. So if you see, this is the backend code, that is login s.java. Okay. Now what I have to do is I have to set some image there. So for that you need an image. So what I will do is I'll move to my folder and I'll show you. I have kept some images there. Okay. Just wait a bit. So you can see in the Android training, I have kept a folder called images. And in this, you can see there are many images. I'll take some images like a happy image. Okay, I'll take this. Okay. And this I'll just copy. I'll just do Control C from here. Okay. And I'll just paste it. So guys, it's very simple. If you want to take some image inside your app, you will copy that image first. Then you will go to the drawable. If you remember, I told you the images can be saved here. So you do right click on the drawable and click on the paste button. Okay. So you can see you'll get some options. You have to do just click on OK and all. Okay. And that image will come here. Okay. Can you see here, all of you? One thing you have to keep in mind, and it is really very important, that is all the file names which you're seeing here, they are small letter. Can you see, guys? All the file names. I'll just expand everything and I'll show you. Okay. See, look carefully. All the file names are small in size. So keep in mind, or you can write as a note, inside resource, all the file names are small letter. Okay. You cannot keep capital letter. Okay. So now I'm going to set this image in the front end design. The front end design which you have seen here, I want to set it here. So what I will do, that I can use it, that I can do it here. How I will do? I'll first of all create the variable for that, and you know what is that? It's image view. Okay, so I'll write here image, and I'll call this image view. Okay, and I'll create the variable. I'll put some name also like IV. Okay, so variable creation is done. I'll go to the next thing, that is linking part. That is IV is equal to, now this is image view. So in the typecasting, I'll write there image view. Okay, and I'll link it by calling the function find view by ID, and that is r.id. And if you remember, I have not changed the ID, but I'll just confirm also what is the ID. So you can see the ID is image view. Okay, I will use that only. So that is image view. Okay. Now, in order to set an image, the command is very simple. That is iv dot set image resource. So this is the command, set image resource. With the help of this command, I can set some image in the image view. Okay. And you have to just give the path. So what is the path? The path is R. R means, see, this R resource. RES means resource. So you will take R from here. So R dot drawable dot file name. Okay. So you can see here R dot drawable dot, what is the file name? That is happy. So I'll just choose that and it should come here. If it is not coming, then there will be some issues. Okay, just let me see. If it is not coming, means there is some error. Okay. I'll just delete this and I'll take once more. Let's take some other image. You can take any image. See, keep in mind, image name should be in capital letter and small letter, and no special character is allowed. So I'll just change this also, like ABC. Okay. So I'll take this image and I'll put it here. If everything will be okay, then only it will be visible to you. Okay. Maybe some issue is coming. If suppose image is not showing, you can just restart your Android Studio. That problem will be solved. Okay. So suppose if it is not coming, then by default some images are given to you. You can use these images also. So I will use this image. Okay. I'll take the foreground one. Okay, and this I'm setting here. So once you have done this, you just save it. So if the images are not working, you just restart your Android Studio, it will work. Okay. So with this, I have set the image, and now it's time to again run the program and see what is happening. So in order to, okay, not run, I mean, if I run, I mean, I have actually created the, the next page, but I have not linked them actually. So what I will do is inside this if condition where the condition is becoming true, here I'm going to write the code. Okay. So all of you look carefully. What is that code? I'll call a class, and the class is called intent. Okay. So intent is a class which helps you to go from one page to other page. Okay. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm creating the object of it. So intent I is equal to new intent. So this is the way we create objects. Okay. And in this, you have to pass two parameters. What is that? One is where you are and where you want to go. Okay, and that is called explicit intent. Okay, means where you are and where you want to go. So explicitly you are telling where you want to go. Okay, so where I am, how I can know? I can know by looking at the class name where. So my class name is main activity. So you'll write here main activity dot this. So it will point where I am. Okay, and where I want to go, I want to go to login S. Yes or no? So let's type that login S. And as you know that when you are running the program, you don't have Java files. You have either .class files or you have objects. Yes or no? So that's why I'll write here .class. Okay. So with this, the explicit linking has been done between the first page and the second page. Okay. So what I will do now, I'll just call a function that is called start activity, and I'll pass the variable I, which is actually having the location of current page and the destination page. Okay. So with this two line of code, I'm able to connect my first page with the second page. Okay. So I hope this is clear to everyone. Okay. Now let's run the program, and then I'll come to you and for the doubt and all. Okay. So I'll quickly just stop this project. Okay. And I'll now switch my screen and I'll move to the, okay, I'll first of all run it here only. And then I'll move to the, when the installation will start, then I'll switch. So you can see the Gradle build has started. You have to wait for some time. Once the Gradle build, you can see the installation has already started. When the installation will be successful, the page will be opened up. And as you know, it is successful. Now I'll just change my page. So I'll just stop this screen and I'll now switch to my screen. So you can see my mobile screen is visible to everyone. I'll move to app and I will write here the username, that was ALPH alpha. If it is wrong, then it will not work. Alpha, and the password is pass, PASS. So if everything is okay, then I'll be switching from this page to the next page by pressing the button login. So you can see I have moved to the next page. Can you see, guys? So here you can see the login button. You can see the image. Maybe it is not visible properly, but you can see there. Okay, and the message login done. Okay, so in this way, what I have done, I have successfully moved from one page to other page. Okay, now I leave on you that how you can do the second part. Like if the login done is unsuccessful, I also want to go to other page. There should be written that login denied. Okay, I want you guys to try that yourself. Okay, so with this, I'll now switch to my screen. And if anyone is having any doubt, you can ask me only. Okay, common attribute part, we are having two text attributes. Uh, Two text attribute. Okay. Okay, so you're talking about the front end design. I'll move there. In the common attribute, we have two text attribute. Where it is? Can in common attribute part, right side part. Okay, you're talking about this. Are you talking about this? Okay, in the attributes. Okay, so in the attributes, you're talking about two text. Two text. I'm not getting your question actually. Two, we are having two text attributes. Is it in the common attribute? Okay, okay, you're talking about common attribute here. Okay. Is it like this? So here you are saying, just a second. So here your question is, in the common attribute, there are two text. This is for setting part. Okay. We'll be writing the text here in this. Okay. This is for settings part. You can see here by the symbol that is shown here. Okay. And you don't have to write here anything. Okay, you'll be writing here in this part. Okay, see, if you're going for that many minor things, you can see there are so many attributes. Okay, I mean, if you start testing, there are many attributes. Okay, you can see here. Is it visible to you? So many attributes. Okay, so we'll not be focusing on this part and all. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, try to make it in this way that it becomes more interesting, kind of like, if you look here carefully, like the text appearance and all, font family and all. Okay, these things will matter a lot. Okay, like line spacing and all, these will be really mattering a lot. Okay, so with this I have completed today's part, and I have made you understand what is intent, what is means how you can use, how you can create a very simple project like login and all. Okay, and how you can use image view. That was the important part. Okay, so in the next class, what I will do, I'll show you some more details regarding this. Okay, how to remove the warning message. Okay, you're talking about this warning message. Am I correct? Okay, so if you want to see the warning messages which are coming here, they are coming with some hint also, and you can click on this fix. Okay, you can click on this fix. When you click on this fix, those warnings will start diminishing. Okay, now you can see uh, 3 again warning is left. Okay, so you can click again all of them. 2 is very clear because it is written hard coded text. So what you have to do, you have to create the variable and value part. Okay, so when you do that, that will be done. Okay, let's see what is this. This one, you can just click on the fix part. So if you click on the fix part, it will make the changes, and it will be, that error will be gone. Okay, and if still the error is there, you have to search carefully what that error is. Okay, and then you have to remove. Okay, like it is saying that content description is empty. Okay, empty content description attribute on image. So you have to look at the content description part, and you have to write some content there. That's it. Okay, in that way the errors will be, that the warnings will be removed. Okay, like if you look carefully in this, it is saying that hard coded string login image should use what, @string resource. This already I told you. So you will do this. Okay, so once you do this, all the warnings will be removed. Okay, this part is not that very important. The part is how you can apply, how you can make some designing, and how you can go for backend coding. Okay, So how to put two buttons on each other side? Okay, that's a very good thing that I'll tell you. Okay, so suppose here only I'll do it. Okay, so suppose in order to do that, first of all, I will do, look here all of you. So I'll first of all remove this connection so that under this text view I can add two buttons. Okay, so let's see how we can do. You go to the common part and you take a button here. So you take a button and you drag it here. Okay, then now you link this button. First of all, you just do the constraint part. So you just click here, it will get linked with this. You click this side, it will get linked with this side. Okay, and then what you will do, you will take the second button and you will put it this side. Okay, now you again click this first button and you link with this button. Okay, so in this way you can take one button side by side. Is it clear now? And then you can make some changes like setting the margin and all that you can do. Like I have kept 77 and all, that's why it is so far. If you want to bring it near, then you reduce the margin and all, that will become near also. So you can place any button anywhere. Like suppose I want to put a button below this, again you remove this linking part and you can add a button here also. Okay, so the designing can be done in a very simple way. Okay, so that's why the main focus will not be in the designing part, because a developer first of all should be a good coder, and once you are good coder, then only you can go for good development, good designing part. Okay, so this is really very important. Okay, is it clear, guys? Okay, so I hope with this I have concluded today's topic, and we can now switch to some other doubts if you have. Okay, or else I'll just end up the today's session, and I will drop this front-end design and the back-end code inside that Google Drive, and I'll share that link to you. Okay, I'll just do one thing. I'll share this link to you first. Okay, so that you can